Hey guys, welcome to Isaiah's Reviews, and today I'm jogging in place for some odd reason to just bring you some new products that you may not have known about until today. This is the FLASHOOT video conference lighting kit. What's better than one of these? Three of these, and there's a purpose and a reason why I have three that I absolutely love, and I hope you stay tuned throughout this video to discover the greatness of this affordable device. I love these things, and I'm so glad that I have them. But what's in the box? What does it do? How can you use this in your at-home video conferencing to fulfill all your video conference lighting kit needs? Cool stuff in here. It's got a little tripod so you can set this up next to your computer to light your face. It's got suction cups so you can put it on the back of the monitor, which is probably ideal because you're looking at the camera that's mounted to the top of the monitor, possibly, unless you have a side mount camera. Then you would want to use the tripod, of course, because you want to light in the direction that you're looking, especially if you don't have side lighting and all this kind of stuff. But you do if you buy more than one. If you buy three of these things, you can set them up around you. But they're definitely cool. Let's get into this before I start rambling on. And if you do hear construction noise, why wouldn't you hear construction noise? I'm trying to do something, but houses are being built around me like crazy. Like 6 houses, one right next door, and it's very loud. First off, you get the light. Of course you get the light. It's very cool because I want to show you why it is extremely cool, okay? First off, you get a ton of LEDs in the front, and the specs, all the specs, everything will be listed in the YouTube description. There'll be a link there to this. So if I just glaze over specs and stuff like that, don't worry, they're just a click away. We'll hold that down, and this is the cool part. You get a digital screen here. You get a cold shoe mount up here, here, here. So it's 3 cold shoe mounts around the sides there, but you can dial this thing in the brightness. Right, there you go. And then there's a little arrow to the side that shows you what mode you're in, but you can dial the temperature, so you can make it nice. Let's blind you a little bit. Nice, and yeah, 2800 Kelvin's the low point. This is cool because sometimes you need this to happen. If you want to add some glow to your skin, that's possible. And at 8500 Kelvin, that's kind of a rarity that it gets that color. But anyway, you could dial this all the way down. We're going to dial this all the way down so you can see if there's any weird stuff going on in there. I'll dial this all the way down to off, back on its lowest temp. Now let's go check the warmest temperature on the lowest setting. Make sure there's no weird anything. Okay, there it is. We're going to crank this up. And we're just going to keep going until it gets to 100%, which is ridiculously bright. I can't even, my eyes are having to adjust. Okay, so there it is. So very, very cool already. Super simple settings. Long press the button in to cut it on and off. Tap to go between the brightness and the temperature. So that, to me, is extremely cool. That goes all the way down to 2800 Kelvin, and you could rip this thing all the way up, like I said, to 8500 Kelvin. So you get a huge spread, and you get a very great brightness. You get a great brightness. I don't know what I'm talking about right now, but you get a good brightness. That's what I meant to say. I'm going to try this little test here so you can see how important control is, right? Temperature control. We're going to dial, we're going to add in some warm. We're going to change it all the way to warm. And then you can just see my skin tone. I'm looking up, I'm sorry. But you can see my skin tone change, and it invites more of a tan, natural look. And that's maybe something that you want to do in your video, in your conference, right? Or in shooting videos like this. Of course, on the bottom there, you get a 1/4 inch and a cold shoe adapter, hot shoe adapter, whatever, that you can mount this on top of your camera. You got 3 other cold shoes so that you could probably put an array of these. So you could actually have 3 extra onto this one, light itself. So you can have 1, 2, 3, 4 panel lights here like this above your camera if you wanted to, and even add more, just have a huge panel. If you wanted to, that might be a little confusing because then you would need like one master remote, which I don't think you can, this will take that, but you don't need to do that. Anyway, you do get a light box with this thing, which is very cool, and it works great. Here, I got it on now. And, but yeah, it works great to, of course, soften the video light, but it'll dampen it a little bit. So see how this is at its brightest setting here. So boom, that, and take this off, and then boom, like that. So it went from, without this, the harshness of light, you can move this twice the distance, put this back on to get the same kind of light, but it softens everything up. So boom, you put two of these here, video feed, you get the idea. Softens your face up pretty nice like. But I love these little soft boxes. They're just little silicone, slips right over it, and it looks pretty doggone good. You see that? And then we'll go through the temperature range with this box on, so you can see that as well, just if you were curious. There's the warmest, and then there is the warmest. So you'd have to get in there pretty close. But this stuff is great though for if you're shooting objects and you want to put a bunch of these around and it's close and you're zooming in and you're just taking photos of things to sell on eBay or wherever, or if you do that kind of stuff for a living, if you take pictures of food or whatever, you can move these lights around free-handed, take shots. I've done sort of reporting type stuff, but not really reporting. But I have gone out and did a review of a haunted house in Austin, Texas, and I highly recommend that you go watch that. And at the end of it, I interview people that had gone through the tour with us, and I just use a panel light to hold it up, get the right lighting on their face, depending on how the natural lighting around is. And if I want to fill in a dark spot, like I'm recording them, and then boom, I find the spot to fill in, a little fill light, and I just hold it there on the spot. And you can't really do that with anything but these kind of little handheld panel lights. These work great, like I said, great battery life, no issues over a month. Now let's look at the other goodies in the box. Of course, you get a charging cable, and it is Type-C, so you can have, you know, depending on how many lights you have, you can run this thing off of an external power supply and still light this thing up, which is fantastic. You can screw this onto a suction mount, like so. And just connect this to the back of your monitor. Of course, it will be the opposite direction like that. Fix this to the back of the monitor like so. And then boom, you've got a camera light right next to your light. And this suction's good. Like, it's kind of got that tacky suction, so I always put this back on after I use this. And I've used this in all kinds of situations already. Like I've had this light kit a while, just because I wanted to make sure there's no issues with stuff like this, that if I don't know the brand name, I kind of want to put it through some paces before I recommend it, because they could, the board give out, LEDs start to fail, flickers, battery life sucks, whatever happens. But like I said, this has been fantastic. But the suction cup, I used it in the bathroom for shots of whenever I'm reviewing products, facial products, shaving, hair cutting stuff, because I cut my own hair and stuff like that. All these products I might need a light, a fill light to be put somewhere. I've got so many options with this to put fill lights with suction cup mounts that I just can't get these ring lights that I have, or these huge panels that I have in these certain nooks and crannies, but I can do it no problem with these. I'm already geeking out over this. This does come with a tripod mount here. Flip this thing out. It's pretty decent, sturdy. You can unlock this and then move this ball head anywhere around, and I like that it stays pretty firm. I was really worried about this kit. I thought, it comes with so much stuff, all this other extra stuff's going to be cheap. But this is pretty good. It's got rubber feet on it. This is decent. It's not going to carry a ton of weight, but it's not meant to. So you might get an action camera, a compact camera on this if you want to use this as a camera mount. It comes with a little boom pole. This booms out from this height up to this. But then you get a decent height light here, and this is pretty decent for sitting on your desk, and you can control the angle of the light down at the base. So you can't get too crazy with it because it'll get top heavy at its full extension, but it gets it up high enough to where it will illuminate you just free sitting on the desk like this. So kudos. And we'll see it collapse here down to its usual height. You can use this to collapse it, but I wouldn't use it to pull it because this is just plastic, and I'd be scared I'd break this trying to pull this out. Then for safekeeping on the bottom of this, you can just screw this in underneath like so, and then collapse this down for transport. To keep track of everything, you can screw this into the side of this, and now you have your conference kit, which is a suction cup mount, the tripod extension pole. You can hook it all up. I guess you can put this here if you wanted to, or whatever here, and it's a nice compact kit if you're on the road, in hotels, at homes, whatever going on. This is awesome for the price. I really like this kit, and I want to show you what I've kind of concoction I've made up with. It's like, this is the studio room. It's like a bonus room I have upstairs. I have an office. I have a really nice filming table that for whatever reason I never use behind you. And then this is our movie theater projector stuff here. And you know, this whole area here is just my space to be in, and the rest of the house is not my space. But sometimes I got to film outside of here, and basically I have a film kit rig, a rig that I take, and these accompany me whenever I'm doing that. And here is my monstrosity of a rig here. These arms come out into these huge tentacles of LED lights. There's 3 of these things. That's why I kind of wanted 3, because I wanted to experiment with it on a rig, and also some lighting and stuff in weird positions with the mirror, and whenever I do a lot of stuff in the bathroom, and I knew I would want some field lights and stuff to be around. So I got 3, and I like the versatility of having more than one, so I wanted to check it out and make sure I could refer getting more than one. And yes, 3 is great. But I have my Sennheiser wireless microphone mounted here. This is a small rig kit. Pretty much everything is small rig. That's the frame and all this good junk. This is a Canon camera with a, what is this, a Sigma lens, art lens or something like that. Got a handle grip here. These are smart rig little arms that come out. So smart rig here is the external battery pack here, which goes into the camera. It feeds the camera. It's got enough USB ports on here to feed the lights as well. It's an Anchor external battery. But yeah, this thing's great. Let me flail it out, and I got a hand grip here so I can film whatever. It's not terribly heavy, but it's got some weight after a while, of course, but it's not super duper heavy, and this handle makes everything better. But let me flail everything out so you can see these 3 LED lights at work. Ta-da! Here it is. Looks cool, right? Now, of course, I would bring this a little farther out, I think, here, probably over here, but for filling this space, this void up. Huh? That's 3. This is pretty cool. I really like this, even though it looks really odd and crazy. Hope you can see my personal lighting here. Not too bad. This is an awesome selfie. I'm joking. This is an awesome selfie rig. Like, I could be out at the store just chitty chatting like this. Huh? I wouldn't do that ever, but you could. And the cool thing is, you know, these screens shut off in the back to reserve some power so they don't stay lit up. Backlighting on it doesn't stay on. It remembers the settings, so when you cut it off and back on again, it will continue where it left off. You know, whatever. Looks good. This is on 5,000 Kelvin here. But let's warm it up. Boom. Just warmed it up. That way it's a little easier. Huh? That's cool, right? Because it just beats having ring light or one big ring light. You don't get the ring light eyes. You know what I'm talking about? Here, let me do like that. You don't see the ring in my eyes, you know, which is common with ring lights. Of course, But yeah, anyway, I love this thing. Is this not crazy? Let's see, let me do this. Huh? But I'm pretty sure I've rambled on and on and on enough about these lights and how much I love them. I recommend them. Go grab you some if you're doing some at-home filming right now, especially conference calling or whatever else. These things work great. Make sure to check the link in the YouTube description and explode on that subscribe button. Ding that dong so that you get notified on the next cool thing that I find and bring to your attention. See ya.